we can get our state ready, and we can also fight back. Okay? The 10th Amendment is not a dead amendment. The 10th Amendment gives us the right, and there is a well-recognized series of case law that says nullification, that if the federal government is clearly acting beyond its authority, if it's acting beyond the enumerated powers that were given to it, and it's acting in violation of the rights that were reserved in the 10th Amendment to the states and the people respectively, states, I think, have a constitutional obligation and a duty to their constituents to push back and to fight back and say, we don't recognize that, we're not going to allow you to overstep your bounds, and here in South Carolina, we're going to consider that particular piece of legislation you passed to be unconstitutional, and unless a federal court tells us otherwise, we're not going to abide by it. Because if you go ahead and put your faith, if you simply accept on faith and at face value that everything that's passed in Washington, D.C. is constitutional, they're going to ride roughshod over you. And we can't always depend upon the third branch of federal government, the Supreme Court of the United States, to stand up for us. We have a federal form of government with a federal branch and states. And it was said earlier by Tony, the federal government is a creature of the states. The sovereign states came together and decided to give certain powers, certain specific powers, away to the federal government, and they retained everything else. And if we, the sovereign states who gave those powers, believe that the entity to whom we gave those powers is acting beyond its authority, it is inherent in our right as a sovereign state to push back. And a lot of other states are doing that. And we have to be aggressive, and we can't be afraid of picking a fight. We can't be afraid of having to go to court. We can't be afraid of being seen as, well, that's South Carolina, those fire-breathing people, they seceded back in the 1860s and they're trying to do it again. You know, we can't have that hanging over our head.